Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer and also coach dog owners. Welcome to another live dog training session in this channel, Saro Dog Training. Hope you're doing well. Harvey is in the background. You may not be able to see him. There he is. I have a new format today, and I'm testing it to see how it works. So welcome, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, and ask your questions in the chat line. Remember to always to hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or I post a new video. And in this video, that live video, I am going to answer your questions that you're going to ask, and hopefully I will see them as they're coming. I'm testing this new program that looks simple and looks easy to use. And if you have any questions, put the questions in the chat area, and hopefully me and everybody's going to see, and we're going to talk about it. So I wanted to talk about dogs today and what happens when we don't do the things that we need to do when it comes to dog training. So that's Harvey, by the way. Harvey is 9 years old now. He's working on a wheel chew. He's working, that is his after dinner treat, and he gets one every day, and he just loves it, and he just enjoys it. So I give him every day. Harvey is a beagle, and he's a good boy. He's my boy, and he is a beagle that has been trained without the use of treats, food, no aversive tools, no shock collars, no prong collars, no domination, no force or anything like that. I'm not his alpha. He's my boy. He's my child in a way. I don't humanize him, but he's my boy, and I love him. And that is one of the things that I want you to understand, that when it comes to our dogs, you may have a puppy or a dog that has some behavioral issues, and you don't know how to deal with it. So don't worry, I'm going to help you today, and I'm going to help you with your issues that you have. If you have any issues, let me know in the chat area, by the way, and I will answer them. And if you have a puppy or a dog, one of the things that I want you to understand is that your puppy or your dog, the reason it's doing certain behavior that is driving you crazy, or is making you mad, or is making you to feel that your dog is trying to ruin your life, is to understand that that's not what it is. That's not how it is. Your dog is not trying to ruin your life. By the way, if you have any issue with the sound or video, let me know in the chat area so I can fix it. If your dog is doing certain things, it's not because is trying to drive you crazy, and is doing it to piss you off, or is making or planning to ruin your life. That's not what your dog is trying to do. The main reason why your dog is behaving certain way is because of stress. And there's many other reasons, but all in all, it comes down to stress. When your dog is stressed, is gonna communicate that feeling, that being stressed, and being anxious to you through its behavior. Because your dog cannot talk to you, cannot speak, cannot tell you how it feels internally, how it feels emotionally, how it feels in general. So you want to get up? So he or she will behave certain way just to tell you that it's not feeling good. It's stressed. So you're gonna ask me probably what would be causing my dog to get stressed. I'm providing all the best things for my dog. Um, I'm providing, the best food, the best things in the world, and why would be stressed? Why would my dog be stressed? Good question. Why would your dog be stressed? One of the reasons I think, in general, when it comes to our relationship with our dogs, is because we humanize our dogs. We humanize our relationship. Just a few minutes ago, I said he's my child, he's my baby. I humanize, right? But as a dog trainer as a dog behaviorist, I know that I just say it. I don't really mean it. I don't try to humanize him. Because when you humanize a dog, you're looking at your perspective changes. You're looking at your dog differently, and you see your dog in a different way. So let me see if I can adjust the camera and get a better shot of Harvey. Um, when you humanize your dog, you are looking at your dog differently. Your perspective changes, and you become a little bit more, um, I would say, uh, selfish. I want to use a better word, but I think selfish would be better describing this problem. Selfish because when we are talking about humanizing a dog, we feel like it makes us happy, it makes us feel good. Therefore, it will make my dog feel good. But that's because we are looking at us, in a selfish way. If it makes me feel good, then it should make feel my dog good. If I'm buying this most expensive color for my dog, then it should make my dog feel good. But the problem is when you're buying the most expensive bed or collar for your dog, it makes you feel good. It doesn't make any difference in your dog. Harvey doesn't care that he's wearing the latest fashioned collar or the best collar in the world. Whether he's wearing a collar or not, it doesn't really matter to him. So that's what I want you to understand. When it comes to dogs and uh, being a dog owner, um, you have to look at it from your dog's point of view. When you look at it from your point of view and you're saying, if it makes me feel good, if I feel good buying this collar for my dog, then it must be feeling good for the dog too. But it doesn't happen that way. Uh, so what happens is, even if you provide in your mind, even if you're providing the best and the most expensive and the best quality things for your dog, um, there are still in your mind you're providing stuff and providing things that it will make a human happy. Not particularly, it won't make a dog happy or satisfied. So that is where I want to ask you this question. Do you know what are the things that will make your dog happy? Now, let me talk about this a little bit more in depth. As we talk about this, the human emotion transferring to a dog feelings. When we are talking about this, even in this day and age, I've noticed, even with adults and particularly and especially kids, uh, even though we are providing the latest game for them, even though we are providing the best food for them, even though we are providing the best clothing and shelter Everything is provided for our kids. Everything is set, and everything is provided to our kids. And your kid maybe hasn't even experienced a day of uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, even uncomfortable, right? Hasn't experienced a day of being uncomfortable. And yet they are not happy. Most kids are not happy. Even though you provide the best things for your kid, even though you're providing the latest games and latest fashion, latest of everything for your kid still is not happy. This could happen to you too, to adults. You could be having a car, home. You could have your coffee every day. You could have your phone, the latest phone that you want, the latest things that you want. You have everything, and yet you're not happy. This happens to all of us. Now imagine being a dog living in a human world. It's different. It's completely different. A human having everything is not happy. A dog having everything obviously is not going to be happy as well as because it's living in a human society, in a human life. So I hope that is making sense to you. By the way, I'm not sure if you're able to ask your questions or not, um, or chat. I'm not sure if it's possible or not. Um, are you able to ask in a chat line? I'm not sure if I can see it. I'm trying this new program, and it's looking a little bit different, and I'm not sure if everything is working. So I'm gonna just give a test to see if things are working fine, and if you're able to comment or chat. For some reason, I'm not seeing any chats, which is very strange, and I'm sure there's something going on, and that's the reason why I don't see the chats. This is a new program again. I'm not sure if I adjusted and programmed it properly or not. Um, but let me just give it a try. Let me just check to see if it's working. I didn't open my uh, other page because I didn't want to slow down the bandwidth. But oh, there are a whole bunch of chats. Okay, I didn't know there were chats. Sorry. In this program, I think I have to do something. Oh, there it is. Okay. Uh, Let me see. Okay, we can see. Or Nolan Rick is saying hi. Hi, thank you for being here, Nolan. Can I ask you a question? Of course you can. How do you train your dog to listen to you? That is a very good question, and I get that question all the time. Nolan Rick, thank you for being on the live session. And I'm sorry, I just saw the questions. This is a new program. I didn't know how to use it, and I just see it, and I'm going to answer all your questions. Let's get started. So, Nolan Rick, how do you train your dog to listen to you? Now, the reason a dog doesn't listen to you is because you don't have a communication system. That's the simplest answer. Communication system, what that means is when you say something to your dog doesn't know that you're talking to it. Simply, they don't know it. You have to work with your dog, train your dog in order to build that communication system. The easiest way that you can build that communication system, that you can say something and your dog can listen to you and understand what you're saying, is to start with basic obedience. Obedience is the easiest and most simplest and much more effective way of creating that communication system. You simply, for example, I usually say is like teaching your kid or somebody, someone, the ABC. If you want to speak a language, you don't start. Yes, you could pick up words and just talk, maybe here and there broken, but the easiest way is to learn the ABC, the words, the letters, and then connect the letters together and create a word, and then start learning the grammar and all that. But the easiest thing that I would suggest you to do, the way you can get your dog to listen to you, is build a communication system. And you can start by um, training your dog the basic obedience. And you had another question: how do you potty train your puppy? I have a video about this question on my channel. I have several videos, but easiest way to do it is very simple. For 2 days, 48 hours, I suggest you to pick a weekend, and let's say on the weekend for 2 days, what you're going to do, you're going to take your puppy every 2 hours outside. Every 2 hours, and after and before your puppy eats, plays, or sleeps. Before and after all these three activities, you're going to take your puppy out. But make sure that you're taking your puppy out every 2 hours. The reason for that is because you want to, first of all, prevent your puppy to have accidents in the house. Second of all, you want to make sure that your puppy learns a routine. So puppy learns every 2 hours, oh, I get to go out, so I'm going to do it outside. I'm going to do it then. So they start learning to control their bladder, at least for 2 hours. Puppies, they can't hold more than 2 hours. And if you do that for 48 hours, every 2 hours you take your puppy out, you will see that your puppy is going to be potty trained. And it's a good idea to take your puppy outside of the house rather than, inside of the house on the mat or training pad or things like that, because your dog in general, dogs, they don't like to do their business near where they live, near where they eat. They're clean animals. They want to do their business outside. That's something most dogs are very sensitive about it, so they want to do it outside. So if you take your puppy every 2 hours, and here's a bonus tip: if you change your puppy's diet from whatever it is now to raw diet or home cooked diet instead of feeding kibble or dry food, you will see that your puppy is going to have less accidents as well. The reason for that is because dry food, it takes a lot of moisture out of your um, uh, puppy's body, and therefore your puppy starts dehydrating. So therefore, they has to drink a lot of water. And when they drink a lot of water, obviously they have to pee a lot. And when they eat kibble or dry food, they have to poop a lot too. So therefore, I suggest you to change the diet. So as I mentioned, I have videos on my channel that you can go and search and find it. Hopefully that answered your question. We have Janet Garcia. Thank you for being here. How do I get her to sleep through the night? That is a good question too. The way you can ask your puppy, if it's a puppy, puppies, again, every 2 hours they have to go out. So throughout the night, you have to also sacrifice a little bit, just like you have a baby, like you do that with babies, right? Unfortunately, with babies, we put, we make them wear the diapers, and they do it there, and we just change the diaper. With puppies, you have to literally physically take them out and let them do it outside. So it's a good idea to there we go. It's a good idea to make sure that, first of all, your puppy goes out every 2 hours. They will wake up, they have to go out, just take them out. If your puppy or dog is not sleeping well at night, it may be because you're not providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs. And we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about that. But if you want to learn about what if you join my online training courses, the link is in description below, and I have a free online course as well. Again, link in description. You can join that and learn exactly what those 5 essential needs are. But the 5 essential needs are basically exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. If you physically and mentally stimulate your dog throughout the day, every day, your dog has to be tired and sleepy. It will sleep throughout the night. Make sure that your puppy or dog is stimulated properly throughout the day. Nolan Rick, I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Janet Garcia, also, she's kind of aggressive when she plays. How do I correct their behavior? I just tell her to stop in a loud voice. When you yell at the dog, what happens is your dog gets actually scared or excited. So remember this: when you yell at the dog, or when you're yelling, also, first of all, you're either stressed, angry, or pissed off. So from your point of view, you are correcting your dog, but from dog's point of view, you are either excited or aggressive. These are two behaviors, two emotions that your dogs are very sensitive. They pick up on those and they say, you know what? You either are stressed or you are excited. So I'm not going to respond to that. So remember, yelling at the dog is not the answer, is not the way to do. You have to teach your dog a cue that learns that when I hear this word, I stop. So I have a video on my channel that you can go and watch. Let me see if I can do that. I'm going to try to share a link of a video that you can go ahead and watch that video. In this video, I show you how you can teach any dog, even puppies, how to teach a word, a verbal cue that you can communicate it to your dog and tell your dog, and your dog is going to learn and respond to that. So I'm going to post that link in the, let me see, in the chat line. Hopefully it is posted. The reason she is aggressive player is because, again, is this a puppy? I'm guessing it's a puppy, and puppies usually get aggressive because they are teething. When they are teething, they are a little bit annoyed. If they're aggressive and they're adult, it's because you are playing too long or too harsh, too excited. So the other solutions that I have for this behavior, if you're seeing your dog is being too aggressive, playful when playing, it's a sign that you have to expose your puppy or dog with other dogs. They need to learn how to play with other dogs, and they have to have that opportunity to play with other dogs. And our puppy sleeps next to us inside a room with a gate. We can see her and she sees us. Perfect. That's how it should be. I would even suggest to bring the crate. You can put your puppy in a crate and put the crate beside your bed. That would be even better. That would be even more effective. The idea here is you want to make sure that your puppy sees and feels and watches you throughout the night. They feel so comfortable and so assured when they have that view, just like babies. Babies want to have that connection. Wonder in the Blanket is here. Hey, how you doing, Wonder in the Blanket? Thank you for being here. Pour the love of art. I adopted a 4-year-old. Thank you for being here, and thank you for adopting. Adopted 4-year-old Chihuahua from the shelter, and I am trying to teach her basic commands. She's so hyper and isn't drawn in with treats and toys. How can I get her to focus on training? So there are few ways that you can get your dog to focus on you. Dogs are motivated by 3 things, and it's basically in this order: play, praise, food. Food is the last thing that they are motivated with. We used to think was food the first thing that we got our dogs to get motivated, but it's actually the opposite: play, praise, food. So if your dog is not motivated by toys, that means your dog is a very sensitive Chihuahua. It's requesting you to have personal attention. So it's a very praise driven. Wants to have that one-on-one connection with you. Most dogs are that way. They want to have that one-on-one connection with us, and we ignore it and we bring food or other gadgets in the game. But toys also are another way of motivating dogs. So what I want you to do is focus on praising, touching your dog, petting your dog, plus saying good boy, good girl. I couldn't tell if it's a boy or she's a. So say good girl. Yeah, what a good girl. Praise her verbally, praise her physically, right? And meanwhile, introduce the toys and games as well. You'll see that you will have a better result when it comes to training your puppy. Wonder in the Blanket is saying, hi, Saro, how do you stop an unwanted behavior? This is a good question as well. An unwanted behavior, it could be any behavior, right? Could be a minor one, could be a big one. One of the problems that I see in dog owners is that they focus on one unwanted behavior. So let's say the barking is the biggest issue that the dog is having and is driving you crazy, and you call that an unwanted behavior. When we are focused on the barking, we are ignoring all other behaviors. So there are little minor behaviors as well that are supposed to be unwanted, but we are ignoring them just because, let's say, the barking is bothering us. So Wonder in the Blanket, can you tell me what is the main thing that you want to get rid of? What is the main behavior that you want to get rid of? Let me know. It's a good example to use. So let's say the barking is the behavior that you want to get rid of, but your dog sometimes jumps on the counter. Sometimes your dog, I don't know, jumps on people. Sometimes your dog also digs a hole. Sometimes your dog probably, growls at the neighbor, but you ignore those. But the barking is really bothering you, right? So how do you solve this is by solving every single behavior that may or may not be bothering you, but it's a behavior that is unwanted and you want that to go away, right? So what you want to do is make sure that's Harvey, by the way, my boy. He's sleeping on the couch. Where was I? Yes, I was here. You want to address all the bad behaviors in order to address the big bad behavior. It will be easier if you address those little ones first before you address the barking, for example. So if you see your dog is jumping, you have to address that too. So that's step one, to understand that you have to address all the bad behaviors, not only one bad behavior. All of the bad behaviors have to be addressed. Second, step two is you have to have some form of communication with your dog that you can say, do this, don't do that. And the only way that you can create that is by training, by working with your dog for, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, every day, to build a communication. Many dog owners, they don't do that. They don't spend or invest time training their dog. They just let the dog be. And one day when the dog does something that it's unwanted, then start yelling at the dog, start shouting, start chasing the dog, and screaming and all that, and thinking that that's going to help the dog to learn not to do that behavior. But what it does, it makes it worse actually, because your dog, when, let's say, is doing a behavior that is unwanted from your point of view, from your dog's point of view, it doesn't realize that it's unwanted behavior. It's a behavior. You don't want that behavior, but your dog says, I'm going to do it. And you respond to it by yelling or screaming or chasing your dog. Your dog says, when I did this behavior, I got a interaction from my human. So next time I'm going to do it again to get interaction from my human. So that's not how you solve or stop a behavior. The way you do it is you create a verbal cue with your dog. Here's the video, the link to this video that you can copy and paste it, hopefully, and watch it. I teach how to teach the dog a word. For example, in my training system, I use no. I say no, and the dog responds to that. So if you want to see an example, for example, here's Harvey there. He's sleeping. I can't really tell him not to sleep now. Harvey, no. Nothing happens. But no becomes a cue word that if my dog is doing something that is unwanted, I just say no, and he stops that behavior. So that's that's how you stop unwanted behavior, by teaching the dog that this is yes, this is no. And as soon as your dog does a behavior that you don't want, you just say no. That easy. So unwanted behavior, again, you have to understand that unwanted behavior from your dog's point of view, it's a behavior. From your point of view, it's unwanted. Now, how can your dog determine whether a behavior is unwanted or wanted? Is by you demonstrating what is what is not. If you don't want your dog to bark, you have to communicate that to your dog and say, you know what, I love you. I realize this thing is causing you to bark, whether guests coming in or whether passerby from the window, or a dog is showing up somewhere. Yes, I see that you're sensitive and you are reacting to it, and you start barking. Yes, I understand it. But I want you to stop that behavior. I don't want you to do that. When you see something or when you feel that way, stop that behavior. And you can actually teach that. You can communicate that to your dog. It just takes time to teach that. And you have to put time to teach that to your dog. If you don't, then you're digging a hole for yourself, and your dog doesn't have any clues of what is going on. Why are you digging a hole? Instead of digging a hole, you could take the time to spend and train your dog and enjoy your dog, actually. So that's basically the way you address an unwanted behavior. Critical Thinker 313 is saying, hi, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time being here. This is great. I'm dog sitting right now. Wow. Also have a Beagle rescue. Love your channel. I don't have my charger. I can't watch right now, unfortunately. We'll watch repost. Thank you. thank you for being here. And I understand sometimes technology doesn't help us. I had a technical problem in the beginning as well, but this is great. Yeah, I love beagles. I have a beagle, obviously, and it's great. I love that you have a rescue dog, and baby dog sitting is that's what I do. I do every day. I sit dogs. In my case, I have a doggy daycare, and we have about 20 to 30 dogs per day, which is pretty exciting. Um, Pour the love of art says thank you. You are very welcome, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you for being here. Ashley R is saying hi, hi, hi. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. My border collie is 10, and his entire life he has always whined. So much so that sometimes I'm concerned it's compulsive and he doesn't even know he's doing it. Any suggestion? So border collies are one of those breeds um, that are very sensitive animals. They're sensitive dogs in general, and they do react to little things in more dramatic way. And I know that you know what I mean. I've worked with many border collies. I've worked with many working breeds, and I know them very well. I know how they are, how amazing they are, and how sensitive they are. In my case, I love the breed, but I don't want to live with them. It's like having a sensitive partner, if you know what I mean. It's just too much for me emotionally. It just takes a lot. I love them. I love the working mentality. I love how smart they are. I love what you can do with them, and I'm sure you agree with me. Uh, they're amazing animals, amazing dogs. And the reason I would say a 10-year-old is whining is because, as I said, they're sensitive breed, so they will make a big scene of little things. And most of the time, when it comes to things like that, the reason for that to happen is because they are not stimulated mentally. They are there are animals that they can physically go a long time, yes, but a 10-year-old also its body can't go, but its mind is still going. So you have to fulfill the mind. The way you can do that is by playing games and doing things that it's suitable for his age, for his personality, for his capability physically being able. I'm going to share a link in the chat line. These are games that I want you to go and play with your dog. Let me see if I can. Yes, this is the link again. It's in the chat line. I want you to go and play these games. I have several games in this playlist. You can get some ideas and play with these games with your dog, but in a level that is suitable for a 10-year-old. So, for example, what I'm saying is, if you're going to use a table, use a shorter table. Don't use a high table for your dog to go get on and off. Make sure that physically your dog is capable of doing those activities. So so just check out that playlist, play games, and make sure that your dog, your collie, is mentally stimulated, and you will see the whining is going to fade out. Most of the time, this is what happens with border collies, Aussies, and breeds like that. Because they're working, they have that working mentality. When they go, they go. Like the way I describe them is, if you ask a beagle to clean this room, right? If you tell him to clean this room, he'll do this, organize it, and that's it, right? Done. A beagle or a lab, right? But if you ask a border collie or an Aussie to clean this room, they're going to go get the broom, the cloth, cleaning materials. They're going to come and shine the place, dust the place, reorganize, rearrange everything. And then after 10 hours, they're going to come and say, are you happy with this? Are you satisfied? Is this okay? I can still work a little bit more, make it perfect. That's the mentality of Border Collie. They're always going. In their mind, they're always working. So somehow that you have to somehow you have to make them mentally happy. So whining is a sign that it's mentally not happy. Something is bothering internally in their brain. So you have to fulfill that. The best thing that you can do with a border collie is play games that is suitable for a 10-year-old. So hopefully that answers your question and hopefully gives you some ideas of what to do and why it's happening. Let me know if there are other details that you can share. I love to talk about this, and I love the idea of border collies, having border collies, and also dealing with border collies and Aussies and things like that. Woo, they're amazing breeds. Pull the Love of Art is asking, how can we stop leash pulling? Very good question. So I have a playlist again for this issue. I'm going to share it in the chat line. I have several videos. The way you can address this leash pulling is by making sure that your dog understands what the mentality of walk is. And if you want to learn, if you are serious about learning about this, I have an online course that you can attend. Most of my online courses actually are on sale as well. It's been for sale for now, so it's a good opportunity for you to sign up and learn if you're serious about it. But leash pulling, it's something that you have to work with the dog for several weeks until you get results. So when you realize, okay, my dog is pulling the leash and is leash puller, I have to do something, it's kind of late, right? Now you're fixing the problem. Leash pulling has to start from early ages, and you have to make sure that your dog understands the concept of the walk itself. Walking a dog is something that you have to teach the dog, and the dog has to learn the concept. I tell it as it's a book. A book has beginning, middle, end. The dog has to understand how the beginning of the walk starts, the middle, how do we walk in the middle, how do we end the walk. And you have to teach these to your dog. The beginning of the story, the beginning of the book, the beginning of the walk is very important. The tip that I can share here with you is I wouldn't take a dog who's pulling on the leash for a walk until I have a good result and understanding of teaching the understanding of the walk to my dog until I can walk my dog inside of the house or in the backyard or in the hallway properly. I'd rather invest my time improving the beginning of the story of the book than the rest of the story is going to go better. If you improve the beginning, the walk itself, what it is, if your dog is understanding that, okay, leash means I just go. If that's the understanding of your dog, I better not to take the dog for a walk. I'm not saying forever, for time being, until you learn, you teach, and you take the time to teach the dog and train the dog to walk properly, I wouldn't take the puppy or the dog for a walk, because it does backfire. It teaches the dog to pull on the leash. When you take a dog who's pulling on the leash. If you take it, it's like putting a kid in a candy store. You put the kid in a candy store and you're saying, don't touch any candies. When you pull, a dog is pulling on the leash, you put it in that situation that is pulling on the leash. It's like a kid in a candy store. It's impossible for that kid or that dog to learn anything but pulling on the leash, because the only time that is being corrected and taught is when it's pulling on the leash. So you want to learn and teach. You want to learn yourself. So therefore, there is the online course. If you want to learn the course, the link is in the description below. Learn how to teach your dog to walk properly on leash, and then teach that to your dog, and then you're going to see results. So it's a long process, unfortunately. But the best tip that I can share with you is, for now, avoid taking your dog for a walk. Take your puppy or dog for a quick walk to do its business, bring it back. It's not worth it to damage the dog physically when it's pulling on the leash. It's not worth the stress for you to deal with the pulling on the leash. Your arms, your mentality, your emotions, you're going to start hating to walk the dog. Your dog is going to be frustrated as well. He's going to start developing unwanted behaviors when you take your dog on a walk that is based on pulling on the leash, because the dog is basically disconnected from you. That's what is happening. When a dog is pulling on the leash, it means it is disconnected from the human. And when the dog and human are disconnected, nightmares happen. Nothing goes properly. Nothing goes to the plan. Hope that makes sense. Wonder in the Blanket is saying, I didn't really have an example in mind, just in general. To further expand on this, how do you teach no? Oh, okay. The way you teach no to a dog is you play a game, and I show it in the video. You play a game. I like to teach a dog using games. Games are the best way to train a dog because it's fun for you and the dog. So training becomes a fun opportunity for both of us. So games are best way of training dogs. So my training method is based on play and praise. I use both play and praise because it's just too much fun. It makes you to have fun training your dog rather than saying, oh, it's a torture, I have to do this, I have to train my dog. You feel obligated to do it when we talk about training. But if you think about it, that it's a session that you start playing with your dog, it becomes a fun session. So you enjoy training your dog. So I like to play with my dog. And when I play with my dog, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good spirit. My dog is in a good mood. He's having fun. So we learn, we teach, and we learn. And during the game, I play, for example, I'll play fetch, for example, right? And I will tell my dog to go fetch it, and it won't go fetch it. I'll just say no. And my dog is going to say, what is that? Doesn't know what it is. So it means it starts, for example, it stops going to fetch. So I say no, and I go grab the ball and bring it back, and I throw it, and then he goes and brings it, but doesn't give it to me. I say no. So I start wording the word no. So the dog starts learning no means no play, no game, no fun. So if I don't do this, he or she is not having fun. So therefore, the dog automatically and very quickly, they're going to start connecting the dots, and they're going to understand what no means. No means drop it. No means don't get on the couch. No means stop doing that behavior. No means stop barking. Becomes a good tool to use as a correction. I don't like to correct my dog in a way. I don't, I like to correct my dog in a way that it makes sense to them. Most people, they punish the dog, correct the dog in a way that it becomes a negative association between the relationship of the human and the dog. Whereas when you say no in correcting in a way that is in the game, it's fun still. The dog doesn't associate negativity. It associates that, okay, the game doesn't go the way we want, right? You know what I mean? So I show it in the video. I think I shared the video's link. Let me see if I can point it out. That's the one. So if you watch that video, that's how I teach no to dogs. Hope that made sense. Ashley R is saying, yes, I know exactly what you mean. I just laughed so much. He is so sensitive. Thank you for your thoughts. He is smart, so smart. I will do more to keep him engaged mentally. Thank you for your games. You're very welcome. Yes. It's very sensitive dogs. I love that breed. As I said, I had a few years ago, I had a client who had a border collie cross Aussie, and we were doing agility. They were doing agility, and the dog was learning quickly. Everything was going well, but the handler, the owner, wasn't as quick as the dog was. So the dog was like very sensitive. Come on, get up and get going. Let's do this. But the owner wasn't the same level as the dog. And I would take over and work with the dog, and literally I could literally do this, and the dog would come. I would do this, and the dog would like so sensitive. Like you didn't even have to. Literally, I didn't even have to move a muscle. That's sensitive. It was like, what you want? What you want? Tell me what you want. It's that mentality, so sensitive. It was wonderful to work, but I didn't want to live with him because I knew how sensitive he was. But my future goal is, if I end up living in a setting that I could have good space, that I could have 6 to 10 dogs, definitely a border collie is one of the breeds that would be in the mix. Maybe 2 or 3 of them actually. Beagles definitely, and a few other breeds. Golden, also poodles would be in the pack. That is in near future, hopefully. So I think I caught up with the questions. I really like this system that I can showcase the questions from the system in the program that it allows me. So I just wanted to let you know that you can join my online dog training courses right now. The link is in the descriptions. I have several of them. And also, you can join my free online course, the link in the description, and get started in learning to become an educated dog lover. Harvey is back there sleeping. He had a good, stimulating day. You know, he's 9 years old too, so he's slowing down a little bit, but he still acts like a puppy. So I do provide him his 5 daily essential needs. So do you know what your dog's daily 5 essential needs are? This is what I was talking in the beginning of the show. And we have 5 minutes or so to go, and I'm going to touch on that. And hopefully you enjoyed this live session. So as a human being, you know, we think, okay, I'm going to buy the most expensive collar or bed or bling bling or this and that for my dog, and my dog is going to be happy. But that makes you happy. It makes you feel good. It doesn't make your dog feel good, or it doesn't make any changes in your dog's state of mind. What it makes your dog happy is you providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs. And what are those? Exercise, training, socialization, care, and also affection. You can join my online courses and learn about those 5 daily essential needs and start providing these 5 essential needs for your dog. It makes a big difference. The reason I emphasize on this is because after working with thousands of dog owners, I've come to a conclusion that everybody is having the same problem and everybody is dealing with the same issues. And the reason for that is because, let me see if I can do this to show you. Let's share screen. Okay, here we go. I think we can share a screen now. There we go. So this is the online course that you can join and learn about these 5 essential needs. Okay, so it's the dog's 5 essential needs, and you can learn those 5 things, what they are. And I have a good amount of information in here that is going to give you the details and all the things that you need to do and provide for your dog. So as I said, exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. These are the 5 things that you need to provide. Now, how do you provide them? What do you provide? You can see them and learn about them on the course. And you can start to do this. Oh, sorry. You can, I disconnected. I'm still new with this system, but you can see that the course is ready. It's beautiful and it's beautifully designed. I worked really hard designing this course, so you can join my online courses and learn about those. And also I have a free one that I would love you to join and enjoy the course itself. And if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video. I think I answered all the questions. Let me just double check. Yes, everything is looking good. So focus on those, and let me know that you enjoyed the show or not. Give it a thumbs up if you like this show, this live show. I will try to, my goal is to come here every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and talk about dogs, help you to become an educated dog lover. And if you enjoyed this live show, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Please share this channel with other dog lovers. My goal is to reach 20,000 subscribers this year. Let's make it happen. If you share, help me and share this video and this channel with all dog lovers, I think it will happen. We are growing fast, and I really love the love that you're sharing with me in this channel. I love what I'm doing. A new video is coming up on Saturday. So every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to go live to answer your questions. And every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, a new video will be uploaded on my channel. Hopefully you like everything that I provide and share with you. As always, if you have any questions, leave those questions in the comments area. If you're watching this rerun, make sure to ask your question in the comments area. I answer all the questions that I get myself. And I hope you enjoyed this show. We didn't have any glitches or problems. Went smoothly. I answered all the questions, and I really enjoyed your presence. Let me see. There's Harvey sleeping again. Harvey, you want to say bye? There he is. He's too tired. He's just had a long day, just like me. Thank you very much. Until next time, have fun with your dogs.